Picture this. You're standing in a crowded place, a station, a market, a city street at rush hour. Faces move past you like a living river. Some tired, some tense, some are blank and unreadable. And suddenly a strange thought hits you. Every single person you see has cried this year. They have doubted themselves, has wanted something so badly it hurt. Yet you will never know most of their stories. You'll only see fragments, a look, a gesture, a single moment in a lifetime of moments. Now imagine this. What if you quietly understood the hidden rules behind how people act, not to control them, not to manipulate, but to stop taking everything so personally, to navigate life with less confusion, less anger, more calm. That's what this journey is about. By the end of this video, you'll see the people around you differently. You'll also see yourself differently. And there is one truth near the end that most people never realize. Underneath, the same old questions whisper, am I loved? Am I respected? Do I matter? When you truly understand this, something changes in your interactions. The person boasting about their achievements, maybe they're not arrogant. Maybe they're afraid no one sees them unless they shine loudly. The friend who pulls away when things get too close, maybe they're not cold. Maybe they're terrified you'll see their cracks and leave. This doesn't mean you must tolerate hurtful behavior, but it invites a different starting point. Instead of, what's wrong with you? You quietly ask, what might you be protecting? The Stoic path is not about denying vulnerability. It is about being honest with it, seeing your own fears clearly, owning them, not letting them dictate your life in secret. You can even use your own insecurity as a signal. Jealous, threatened, embarrassed, good. You just found a place where growth is possible. You are not alone in this. No one is. Now we arrive at a hard pill to swallow. Yet once you accept it, disappointment loses much of its bite. The sixth truth. Most people, most of the time, act from self-interest. This does not mean they are evil. It means they see the world primarily through their own needs and fears. Just as you do, someone forgets to check in with you. They weren't plotting to hurt you. They were wrapped in their own worries. A business partner makes a choice that benefits them more than you. You feel betrayed. But from their perspective, they are simply securing their position. The Stoics did not expect the world to arrange itself around their feelings. They expected human nature. They expected people to chase comfort, safety status, or pleasure. So they built their peace elsewhere. If you rely on others, always prioritizing your interests, you will live in constant shock. If you accept that many will choose themselves first, you stop being surprised. You prepare. You set clearer boundaries. You communicate agreements instead of assuming them. This realism is not cold. It is freeing. It allows you to appreciate genuine kindness when it appears, to build relationships based on mutual respect, not fantasies, to give without secretly tallying up what is owed back to you. You can still be generous. You can still care deeply, but you are no longer devastated every time someone fails to be the hero in your story, because you remember they are not living in your story. They are living in theirs. Now we come to one of the most uncomfortable truths. And this is where many people silently get stuck. Have you ever been certain someone else had a problem, only to realize much later that you were looking in a mirror? You kept calling someone controlling. Then one day you notice how tightly you grip everything in your own life. You kept saying someone was selfish. Then you see how deeply you crave attention or praise. The seventh truth: we often project our own inner struggles onto other people. The mind hates to sit alone with its shadows, so it throws them outward. We blame, accuse, label, and feel momentarily lighter. The Stoic remedy is painful but powerful. Before you point a finger, turn your gaze inward. Ask, is there even a small part of me that does this too? You may be shocked by the answer. Maybe you criticize someone for being unreliable, while quietly breaking promises to yourself. Maybe you resent someone's pride, while secretly building your identity on being the humble one. This is not about shaming yourself. It is about reclaiming your power. Because as long as the problem is out there, you can't do anything except complain. The moment you find the matching pattern inside you, you have something you can actually work on. You don't have to announce this discovery to anyone. You don't have to confess it publicly. You simply begin the inner work. I see it now. I do this too. Let me practice changing it here in me. Soon, something surprising happens. Your anger toward others softens. Your expectations become more realistic. Your compassion grows, not the soft, sentimental kind, but the grounded kind that says, I know this pattern. I fight it in myself too. Look around at your life, at the people you live with, work with, and love. Avoid. Have you noticed how two people can care deeply about each other and still clash constantly? Often it's not because one is good and the other is bad. It's because they are guided by different inner compasses. One lives for stability. One lives for adventure. One worships honesty, even when it hurts. One worships peace, even if it means silence. Here is the eighth truth. People hold different values, and they build their lives around them. For one person, family comes before everything. For another, personal freedom is sacred. For a third, their mission or career is the central axis they spin around. When these value systems collide, pain follows. The parent who cannot understand why their child would leave home for a distant dream. The partner who cannot accept that you need alone time to breathe. The friend who feels betrayed when you choose discipline over endless spontaneity. The Stoic way is not to demand that everyone share your hierarchy of values. It is to know your own clearly and respect that others may live by a different list. This doesn't mean every relationship will work. Some differences are too fundamental, but understanding the root makes the choice clearer. Instead of shouting about surface behavior, you can say, even silently, we see the good life differently. Our choices reveal that. You then decide, can we walk together with these differences, or must our paths diverge? Either way, you move from confusion to clarity. Linked to values is another quiet engine inside us: motivation. What pulls you out of bed in the morning? What keeps you working when you're tired? What temptations are hardest for you to resist? The ninth truth: different hearts are driven by different fuels. Some people are powered by security. They save, they plan, They stay close to what is known. Change feels like danger. Others are powered by recognition. They burn bright in public. They chase applause, like titles, visible success. Silence feels like suffocation. Others are powered by curiosity. They get bored quickly. They chase questions. They take things apart just to see how they work. Routine feels like a cage. Most of us are a mix, but one driver usually dominates. Trouble comes when we assume everyone is motivated like us. You offer someone a higher salary, but what they really wanted was flexible time with their kids. You praise someone in a big meeting, but what they value is private, sincere appreciation. You offer adventure to someone who only wants one solid, safe place to stand. Stoic awareness asks what seems to matter most to this person, not what they say once, what their choices repeatedly reveal. When you see their driving force more clearly, you can stop trying to move them with the wrong currency. You stop taking it personally when they don't light up at what excites you. You adjust your expectations. You communicate in a way that actually reaches them. At the same time, you look honestly at yourself. What truly motivates me? Is it aligned with my deeper values? Or am I chasing things that leave me empty when I get them? That question alone can reroute a life. Now we arrive at the last truth. It is quiet, but it sits behind countless arguments, regrets, and I don't know how it ended up like this moments. Think back to a decision you made that didn't turn out well. Maybe a relationship, a job, a financial risk. Notice what your mind does afterward. It starts to rewrite the story. I actually never really liked them. I knew that job was wrong from the start. It was the right choice at the time. Maybe that's true. Maybe it isn't. But the mind isn't only searching for truth. It's protecting you from discomfort. The 10th truth after decisions, people often rewrite their reasons to feel better about themselves. We want to see ourselves as wise, as consistent, as sensible. When reality doesn't match that image, the mind quietly edits the script. The Stoic approach is radically different. It invites brutal honesty with oneself, not cruelty. Honesty. I chose that because I was afraid of being alone. I stayed because I didn't want to look like a failure. I said yes because I wanted approval, not because it was right for me to. These sentences sting, but they are clean pain. They cut through confusion and excuses. When you see clearly why you acted, you gain something invaluable, the power to choose differently next time. When you see this pattern in others, you can also stop being shocked when their story keeps changing. It's not always a lie. Sometimes it's a defense, a shield against shame. You don't have to agree with their revised narrative, but you can understand why they need it. And from that understanding, you decide how close or distant you wish to be. So here we are. 10 quiet truths about people, about you, about me, about the stranger you passed today. We are all stories shaped by unseen chapters. We speak in different styles and break in different ways. We judge fast. We hide our fears. We act from self-interest more than we admit. We project our shadows onto each other. We live by different values. We run on different fuels. It changes how you interpret almost every argument you've ever had. Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders drop. We're going to walk through 10 quiet truths about human nature. Each one is grounded in Stoic wisdom. Each one is a lens that clears the fog between you and everyone you meet. Stay with me. You will hear things you already know on the surface, but tonight you're going to feel them in your bones. Let's begin with a simple idea. Every person you meet is a story already in progress. You don't meet them on page 1. You meet them somewhere in the middle, sometimes at the climax, sometimes right after a disaster, sometimes in a quiet, numb chapter where they're just trying to survive. A man cuts you off in traffic. You feel anger rise. Your mind writes a fast story. He's selfish. He doesn't care about anyone. And we constantly rewrite our own motives so we can look in the mirror. Stoicism does not ask you to fix all of this in others. It invites you to see it clearly, to stop being surprised by human nature, to stop expecting the world to be simpler than it is, and then in that clarity to ask a calmer question. Given that people are like this, how do I choose to be? You can't control the stories others come from. You can't control their communication, their stress, their values. You can't force them to face their projections or motives. But you can do this. Pause before you judge. Look for the unseen chapter. Set boundaries without hatred. Speak with intention instead of impulse. Admit your own fears. Own your part in every pattern you repeat. That is the Stoic path in daily life. Not dramatic, not loud, just steady, honest, rooted. As you move through the next week, try a simple experiment. Every time someone frustrates you, ask quietly in your mind, what might this look like from their story? You won't always know. You may still disagree. You may still walk away. But you'll walk away with less poison in your veins, with less certainty that you always see everything clearly, with more room for understanding even when there is distance. And here is the gentle twist. All this time, you thought we were talking about other people. We have also been talking about you. You are the stranger in someone else's story. You are the one they judge quickly. You are the one whose motives they misunderstand. Remember that the next time you feel alone, you are not the only person in the room carrying doubts and dreams. You are surrounded by them. Tonight, as you close your eyes, you can choose a different way to move through this shared human maze. Meet people with clearer eyes. Guard your peace with calm strength. And keep asking the only question that truly belongs to you. In this moment, whatever others choose, what is the most honest, wise action I can take? The rest is noise. And if you're still here, if some part of you felt seen in these truths that alone sets you apart. Most people move through life on autopilot. You have just taken a step back to watch the whole system from above. In our next journey together, we'll turn that same clear gaze even deeper inward into the thoughts you believe without question, and how a Stoic mind gently trains them. Until then, walk gently, see clearly, and remember every interaction you have. Tomorrow is a quiet chance to practice everything you just heard. But what if you're stepping into chapter 38 of his life? What if chapter 37 were a phone call about a sick child, or a job that just ended, or a night without sleep. You don't know. You can't know. The Stoics warned about this. They reminded us, events are neutral. Interpretations are optional. We don't actually react to what happens. We react to the meanings we slap onto things in a split second. So the first quiet truth is this: people are shaped by a long trail of experiences you cannot see. You meet their reactions, not their history. When you really let that in, something softens. You stop assuming that the way someone treats you defines you. You start seeing it as evidence of where they've been. The harsh teacher who never praises anyone. The distant parent who seems cold. The colleague who double-checks everything 3 times. Look at them again. Behind the behavior, there is a background. Failures, losses, unfinished apologies, bold fears dressed up as personality. This doesn't excuse harm. Boundaries still matter, but it shifts your posture from "how dare you" to "what shaped you." That shift is powerful, because the only part you control. This is how you choose to respond in this chapter. Now, once you remember that everyone is a story, something else becomes clear. Not everyone tells their story in the same way. Some people speak like thunder, short, direct, sharp. Others speak like a soft stream, hints instead of declarations, pauses instead of punches. Have you noticed how often conflicts are not about what is said, but about how it is said? One friend texts you, "We need to talk." If they usually write in long, detailed paragraphs, that short sentence feels like a shout. If they're always brief and blunt, it might just mean, "Can we chat later?" 2 different styles. Same words. Completely different impact. The second truth is this: people communicate in different languages, even when they share the same tongue. Some value honesty over comfort. They hit send without adding softening emojis or polite cushions. To them, clarity is kindness. Others value harmony above all. They tiptoe around conflict. They hint. They circle. They hope you just understand. When these 2 styles collide, both feel misunderstood. The direct person feels blocked. The subtle person feels attacked. Stoic practice here is simple but not easy. Pause before you react. Ask yourself, is this actually an insult, or is this just their way of speaking? You can even adjust gently. With the blunt friend, you might say, "I appreciate your honesty." When it's very direct, my brain sometimes hears it as anger. Can we meet in the middle? With the indirect one, "I care about what you feel." It helps me if you say it clearly, even if it's uncomfortable. You're not changing who you are. You are building a bridge. You are choosing connection over automatic offense. And in that choice, you step into quiet strength. There is another place where our differences show themselves, not in words, but in storms. Think about the last time life slammed a door in your face. Bad news, unexpected loss, a sudden expense. How did your body react? Did you explode? Or did you disappear? People do not break the same way. Some go loud under pressure. Voices rise, hands move. Every feeling pushes outward. Others go silent. They fold inward. They say, "It's fine," while slowly crumbling on the inside. The third truth: stress reveals our patterns, not our values. A person who raises their voice when overwhelmed is not automatically cruel. A person who goes quiet is not automatically weak. They have practiced this reaction for years. Since childhood, it became a survival script. The Stoic question is not, "Why am I like this?" but "What can I do with this?" If you are the one who erupts, your practice might be, notice the surge. Do not act on the first wave. Count your breaths. Leave the room for a moment if you must. Return when your words can serve, not wound. If you are the one who retreats, your practice might be, notice the shutdown. Name it softly. I need a moment, but I want to talk about this. Then actually come back. This awareness matters to others too. The friend who gets defensive when stressed might not hate you. They might just be fighting ghosts you cannot see. When you remember this, you stop adding fuel to fires. You bring water instead. Sometimes you bring quiet. Resilience in the Stoic sense is not a hard shell. It is flexible strength, the ability to meet storms without becoming one. But there is a danger here, and it's subtle. We are fast creatures, faster than we realize. See someone for 3 seconds, and the mind whispers, rude, lazy, arrogant, boring. We think we're observing. Often we're just judging on autopilot. This is the fourth truth. Your brain is a judgment machine, and it is not always your friend. In a world where our ancestors had to decide quickly, is that sound dangerous or not? Rapid judgment was survival. Today, that same reflex can damage relationships. We meet a person once and build an entire personality profile from one expression. They yawn while we speak. Wow, I must be boring. They don't reply to a message. They must be ignoring me on purpose. Marcus Aurelius warned about this tendency. He reminded himself again and again not to be led by first impressions, to hold a question mark where the mind wants to slam down a period. You can practice this too. Catch your next snap judgment in the act. I decided they're careless. On what evidence? One incident. Is there another explanation? Maybe they're tired. Maybe they're overwhelmed. Maybe they never learned certain skills. Maybe this has nothing to do with you. This tiny pause, this fraction of a second, it is often the difference between wisdom and regret. You may still set boundaries. You may still say no, but you do it from clarity, not from a story invented in haste. Beneath all this rush of judgments and reactions, there is something else, something nearly universal. We almost never see it, because we work very hard to hide it. The fifth truth: everyone you know carries insecurity. The confident speaker on stage, the successful friend who has it all together, the calm parent, the strict boss. All of them have nights of doubt. All of them have felt small in a room. All of them have caught their reflection and thought, not enough. We become experts at building armor, smiles, achievements, sarcasm, perfectionism,